My comrades in gaming, what up? Today we take a look at the biggest rival to Modern Warfare 3 and the Call of Duty series, which is Battlefield 3 and the Battlefield series. Okay, this is dedicated to be a review of Battlefield 3 as a game, so this review will be broken down into three different parts: the single-player campaign, the co-op, and the multiplayer. I'm going to start with the single-player campaign first, just to give you an idea of the story behind Battlefield 3, and because most people tend to start with the single player as opposed to the multiplayer, I'll start with the single player. So the single player takes place in 2014. You play as Staff Sergeant Blackburn, and he is being initially interrogated for information on the PLR and his role with the PLR, or the People's Liberation and Resistance Force, which is a terrorist organization located in the Middle East. The game basically takes place in Iran and Iraq, or near the Iran and Iraq border. There's other settings in the game, such as Paris and the United States of America, specifically New York City itself. So the game consists of a series of flashbacks in which you relive and redo Staff Sergeant Blackburn's experiences, and you get to sort of uncover his role in the whole encounter between the United States of America and the PLR. You also play as other characters, such as Sergeant Miller, who is one of the tank squad members, and he controls one of the Abram tanks, and a Lieutenant Hawkins, who is a fighter jet pilot, which you see in the fighter jet gameplay, and their interactions with Staff Sergeant Blackburn, as well as other characters which will be developed throughout the game, and you can see the relation between Staff Sergeant Blackburn and them. One of the things that single player is known for is their quality, and they have really good scripted cutscenes and many good scripted gunfights. One of the things that I would say that I dislike about the single player, as far as the single player is concerned, is the length of the single player. The length of the single player, if you play it on normal and you play it continuously, you could probably beat the single player in under 6 hours if you're pretty consistent with it. There are many scripted gunfights which are good, but there's also the drawback that some of the gunfights seemed a little bit stretched and are designed to be there for the sole purpose of trying to extend time, which is one of the main problems with the single player as a whole. So much of the time is extended just for these useless gunfight scenes. Some of them are necessary and are expected in many shooters, but some of them just seem to be there just for the sake of extending the time of the single player. The storyline in the single player is good, but it feels very similar to Black Ops, in which the person's being interrogated for information. In this case, it's about a character named Solomon, who you will learn about throughout the story, so I won't give any details on the story in general, just don't have to give any spoilers away. But it seems very similar to Black Ops. But as a whole, the story writing was very good and very well done. But like I said, it's very similar, and it seems like it's been done before, although I don't know how much you can actually change in different stories. But what the single player lacks in time and hours spent, the co-op makes up for a little bit. The co-op is one of the gems that many people don't actually find out early in the Battlefield 3 series, or in Battlefield 3 itself. The co-op consists of a series of 6 missions in which you play with a partner or with a buddy, very similar to the Spec Ops series in Call of Duty, and you can complete missions with them. One of the things that many people don't realize is that in co-op you can actually unlock specific weapons for the multiplayer that you actually can't get in multiplayer unless you unlock them in co-op. And for Battlefield 3, there's achievements that can be unlocked for single player, co-op, and multiplayer. So if you want to get all the achievements in Battlefield 3, you have to play all the modes, single player, co-op, and multiplayer, to get all the achievements, or 1,000 gamer score, before the DLC has been released, at least. So yes, the co-op, it's short, but it's also to be expected because it seems like more of an addition to gameplay. But for the price you pay, it's always a nice addition. It's fun. You have to communicate very well if you want to do well in co-op. But it's more of an extension of the single player, and also gives you more backstory to the United States' interactions with the PLR. So it gives you more story development, which is always nice to see in a game. One of the things you should note before you put in Battlefield is that if you want to, many of the HD content is only available, you have to download it on your hard drive, and it's a 1.5 gigabyte download, so be ready for that if you intend to upload HD textures and such, or play in HD. Okay, but on to the meat and potatoes of Battlefield 3. One of the things that Battlefield 3 is known for, and its apparent rival to Call of Duty, which is its multiplayer. Battlefield 3's multiplayer consists of the giant Battlefield maps that many Battlefield veterans have come to know and love, but, well, not but the maps are very well designed. The sound that in the single-player co-op and multiplayer is beautifully done. I can't say enough about the sound. That's one of the biggest praises I can give Battlefield 3. You can hear every bullet whizzing past you. You can hear the rubble being destroyed around you. You can hear footsteps. You can hear everything. It feels like you're actually engrossed into the war itself, as opposed to like static sound and plastic gunshots. There are many unlockables in Battlefield 3 as far as guns and kits are concerned. It employs the kit system that has been used throughout the Battlefield series, and you unlock guns and other things just by leveling your character up normally and using a gun or weapon frequently. So make sure that if you want to unlock all this stuff, and it gives you your time spent on the multiplayer will be sufficient if you keep unlocking stuff and using all the different weapons. So you will have a lot of things to do. There's also a bunch of unlockables and achievements that you have, and as well as the other DLC that will be released. The first DLC pack will be released in December. So look forward to that. If you actually bought the limited edition Battlefield disc initially, you will have access to the first DLC for free. So make sure whenever you come out that you can pick that up for free. One of the other things is that it has the standard game modes that you know. There's Rush, Conquest, Deathmatch, and you'll also be employed in squads. One of the biggest setbacks that I have found so far, at least within the first week of Battlefield 3, has been, I don't know whether it's dealing with the servers, but it seems like there's a lag associated with a lot of stuff. And one of the things that I notice is that, especially on certain maps, you will sort of teleport a little bit in front of you across the map, like your character will stop moving, or you start to reload and then they won't actually reload, or they will teleport to another spot on the map that you don't actually intend to go to. Or the gameplay will look like it freezes when in reality it didn't. That's one of the biggest gripes I can see. As far as whether it affects the gameplay itself, if it stayed as it is, I would say it affects it so much that it wouldn't detract from the overall multiplayer experience, but it's more than a nuisance. It would detract slightly, actually, from the overall multiplayer experience, but it's more of a nuisance and a hassle than just anything else. You don't find it in every multiplayer match, at least I haven't found it in every multiplayer match. So be on the lookout for that if you're playing multiplayer. One of the other things that I can say is, for the multiplayer, the graphics, which it still runs on the Frostbite 2 engine, which Battlefield 2 ran off of, hence the need for the HD content download on your hard drive. But the graphics are stellar. It's sort of to be expected by a shooter to have really stellar graphics now. But it still has that Battlefield 3. I'll tell you, if you're a Call of Duty player like I am and came to the Battlefield scene on Battlefield 3, don't expect it to play like Call of Duty, because Battlefield isn't Call of Duty. Battlefield is Battlefield. So if you're expecting it to be and act like Call of Duty, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield series itself is a whole other animal. Battlefield veterans can tell you that much. So don't expect it to play Call of Duty, but I would say give it a chance if you're a Call of Duty player, and try to adjust your playstyle accordingly so that it fits the Battlefield series. If I had to rate Battlefield from a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being worst, 10 being best, I would probably give it a rating of 8 to 8.5, probably more on the 8 side out of 10. Mostly I would give it credit for its amazing sound and its good graphics, but I would take away from it the shortness of the single-player campaign, which co-op makes up for slightly, but also for the lag it seems associated with the multiplayer. So that's what I would say. As far as length of time playing it, you will get a lot of bang for your buck by playing Battlefield 3. The multiplayer will keep you engaged. Make sure to make use of the kits and all the weapons available to you. And that would be my review of Battlefield 3. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys have a great day and great week, and I will see you guys next time.